stuff. I'm doing YouTube, bitch.
I am doing YouTube, bitch. How's everybody doing? Good morning. It's UncleLou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, UncleLou, live for you on YouTube today. Thanks for watching. Another Saturday of college football. And, who watched Wisconsin last night? Don't look now. Don't look now. But Wisconsin has managed to find a real quarterback before my Georgia Bulldogs can say the same. It's a damn shame. Georgia and Wisconsin have been mirroring each other for years, running the ball, playing good defense, winning 10-plus games in their sleep, with a bunch of Jack Froms and Alex Horny Brooks as quarterbacks forever and a day. Don't look now. Big Ten, if you're in the Big Ten, don't look now. Goddamn Wisconsin. Unreal. Unreal. The dude was like, he was something like 24 of 25 for about 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, no, I'm not even going to go there. Not even going to go there. Now, Georgia Tech's quarterback is a turnover machine, a disaster. I mean, let's just be honest. He hasn't been. Yeah, that looks better. He hasn't been great. If they end up finding a real quarterback before we do, I'm gonna be huge mad. Huge. Wisconsin done found a damn quarterback. Unbelievable. Anyway, welcome to College Game Day Watch with Lou. They're in Minneapolis, Minnesota today for tonight's matchup in the Big Ten. Michigan at Minnesota. Interesting game. Interesting game. Can Minnesota... Was last year a fluke for Minnesota? Kinda. I don't think Minnesota recruits on a level where they can start putting those kind of seasons together every year, but they do have 18 starters returning from that team last year, so they could be pretty good again this year. Michigan's got a new quarterback of their own they're going to test out tonight. Half the fans are happy about it. Half the fans aren't. They had who was it? McCaffrey and Milton. Who was going to start for Michigan? Half the fans are happy with the decision, half aren't. And then the other guy got mad and quit when he didn't get the job. But anyway. Yeah, Wisconsin looked good. Defense played good. That's no surprise. I mean, they had didn't Wisconsin have 3 shutouts in their first 5 games last year before then losing to Illinois? Remember that? One of the biggest upsets of the season last year. That and the Georgia-South Carolina game, 2 of the biggest upsets of the season last year. Wisconsin gets their revenge last night, though, beating the Black Santa Claus, Lovie Smith, and the Fighting Illini of Illinois. I think it was 45-7 or something like that. Not much of a game, but I was surprised by the Wisconsin quarterback. I spent all offseason saying, now, who's going to replace Jonathan Taylor? Wisconsin never seems to have a problem plug and play at the running back position. Just put anybody in there, they're going to get at least 1,500 yards. If they're good like Jonathan Taylor, they'll get 2,000. Damn, Badgers showed up with a quarterback and threw the ball. Unbelievable. Unreal. Georgia's still circling the drain at the quarterback position. Don't make no damn sense. It makes little to no sense. How about that? Don't forget, at the end of today's show, one lucky viewer will get the opportunity to place a bet on a game today. I'll place the bet for you. If you win, I will send you the money. It's a $25 bet. I'll pull up Bet Now after a while here and a little bit towards the end of the show, I guess. Scroll through the list of games, give you some of my thoughts on the games today, and then we'll pick somebody out of either the Super Chat section or the PayPal. Here's the PayPal, by the way. For anybody that doesn't mind taking the extra step, if you want to support the show through the PayPal to make sure Uncle Lou gets 100% of your support without YouTube stealing half, that's a good way to do it. Is Bad Dog in here? I saw somebody. Bad Dog, buddy. You said the Giants done beat the fanhood out of you, didn't you? Man, that's rough, buddy. Did you really say it? I think it was you. Didn't you? Did you say Evan Ingram? Did you say they should have made Evan Ingram walk home from the game? Man, come on. These are professional athletes, sir. He can at least call himself an Uber, can he? Damn. The Giants are something, man. Well, they are finding ways to lose. I also saw a highlight this morning, Bad Dog, of I think it was the Giants and Eagles, so I'm assuming it was the Thursday night game. Did Daniel Jones have like an 80-yard run where there was no one within like 20 yards of him, and he just fell down for no reason at the 5-yard line? Was that this past Thursday? I saw a highlight of that this morning, or a low light. That was him? Okay. Now, please tell me they scored a touchdown on that drive, though. There was I wish I could find it now to replay it. They did score. Okay, well, he's off the hook then. But if you didn't see the play, Daniel Jones, some kind of zone read, or I don't know if it was a zone read or just a scramble and he took off running or what, but there was nobody within 10 yards of him, and he got to about the 10-yard line or whatever and literally just fell down. Oh, man. Oh, you got the Safe Light guy there fixing up your windshield, don't you? Safe Light repair, Safe Light replace, or at least that's what it is down here. Anyway, we got some great games today. The Big Ten, of course, is starting off this weekend. Wisconsin and Illinois played last night. We talked about that. But there's some other good games this week, too, within the Big Ten. Sorry for only doing one preview video this week. But I wanted to make sure I talked about the Big Ten since they're just getting started. But Nebraska at Ohio State at noon. I think most people expect Ohio State to win the game pretty easily, but will Nebraska be any better? Year 3, Scott Frost, Adrian Martinez is back, his third year as the starting QB. This guy went from preseason Heisman candidate last year to milk carton award real quick. Will he finally get it together this year? What will Nebraska look like? Their defense has been pitiful too. Rutgers at Michigan State. Oh, God. Shout out to Comic Dude. He calls in on the night show all the time. He's in the Rutgers band, but, man, they're awful. Michigan State new head coach Mel Tucker, former DC at Georgia, then coach at Colorado, now head coach at Michigan State. He was an assistant there many moons ago under Nick Saban. 3:30 Penn State at Indiana. I'm going to watch that game. I want to know about Penn State. I was very high on Penn State in the offseason. I still think they could be the second best team in the Big Ten, but man, you can't underestimate losing Micah Parsons, and now they're starting running back. Micah Parsons was probably the best defensive player in the Big Ten. That hurts. Play at Indiana. Iowa at Purdue. Man, this is disappointing. This is disappointing. My dude ain't playing in this game, and I'm pretty mad about it. I don't know if he's got coronavirus. They didn't say. He's just not playing. and they expect him back next week. Rondale Moore for Purdue. One of the most exciting players in all of college football. Iowa was a 3-point favorite. We'll look and see if it's moved any now that Rondale Moore's not playing. It might be more than 3. I still like Purdue in this game. I'm going to be honest. I think Purdue is better than Iowa. I think Purdue's better than Iowa, with or without Rondale Moore. They didn't have Rondale Moore last year. Purdue didn't. He got hurt 3 or 4 games into the season. They still led the Big Ten in passing. I don't know. We'll see. And then you got a couple of night games. Of course, the game day game, Michigan at Minnesota, 7:30 on ABC. And over on the Big Ten Network at 7:30, Maryland at Northwestern. Now, the only reason anybody will be tuning into that Maryland game is to see if Pineapple Jr. plays, right? He transferred to Maryland in the offseason. He's been cleared to play. But Maryland says they're not announcing starting quarterback until the game today. So, who led the Big Ten in passing? Purdue had the most passing yards in the Big Ten, but they played 4 different quarterbacks because of injuries. So they may not have had a single QB that led the Big Ten in passing, but as a team, Minnesota led the Big Ten in passing last year. That's the Big Ten games today. I want to bet Ohio State today, too. -26. I think it's up to 27 now. That's under 4 touchdowns. They were a covering machine last year. They were 12-2 against the spread last year. No matter how high the spread was, they beat it every time except for 2. But I'm hesitant to bet Week 1 games. You don't know. Think about how some of these teams looked Week 1 in the ACC, Big 12, SEC. We just saw some weird things happen Week 1. Hard to know how ready some of these teams are going to be. 26 points is a lot. It's a home game. If I knew for a fact Nebraska was as bad as last year, I'd take Ohio State without thinking about it. But I might have to pass on that game. Yeah, Nebraska plus 20. I mean, that's the thing. I don't think that's a terrible bet, Tyler. Nebraska plus 27. I don't. I'm probably going to stay away from that one though. This is my house. Shout out to Matt Sims. Is he in here? Alabama fan Matt Sims. I don't see him. He had himself some fun last night trolling 8 Camel Toes over on 8 Camel Toes channel. He sent me some screenshots this morning. No Georgia game today, so I don't have to be nervous about that. I can just relax, watch these games, post reaction videos. Something funny will happen today, won't it? Somebody's going to lose that's not supposed to, ain't they? Yeah, it always happens. It always happens. It'll happen today. I'll get to upload a few laughing videos or whatever. The game stream today is going to be at noon for the early games over on the Patreon page. That's what the guys over there and girls voted to see today was the noon games. And there's a lot of good games at noon today, too. So I think they probably picked the best time slot today, noon. If you want to hang out with us and watch the games at noon, join up on the Patreon page. A lot of y'all have joined up over the last few weeks. I really appreciate that. There's a link in the description of this video if you want to check the Patreon page out, see what it has to offer. If you decide to join up, we'll see you over there today at noon. I'll post a link on the Patreon page around 11:45. You just click the link, and it'll take you to the live stream for all the 12 o'clock games. But let's see who's in here this morning. Russell Westbrook fan. Now he's done changed his name to Cam Newton fan, too, since 2010. Well, we know for a fact that's true. You're probably an Auburn fan since 2010, to be honest. Tyler Peag, Littergator, Rack Dog, K Chaps, XO Mitt Hood. Good morning in that. Oh, you smoking ribs today? Man, wait, hell, it's always a good day for smoking ribs, sir. Enjoy that. That sounds good. 904 Hurricane, what's up, buddy? John Shields. Several Hurricanes fans in here today. You guys better check out the video I made yesterday on the main channel. You Miami fans will enjoy it for sure. I ripped Florida State a new one. South Carolina is going to upset Auburn today, says 904 Hurricane. Sir. I'll bet you $1 million South Carolina doesn't beat Auburn today. Or $100 or whatever you want to bet. I will bet you $100 South Carolina don't beat Auburn today. Who said that? 904 Hurricane. Paul Riggs, thank you for the super chat. You are entered in, sir. I hope you win. Maybe you can win some money. He says, go Mountaineers. Bad Dog, thank you, sir. He says, Giants versus Eagles equals UGA versus Bama. No matter what we do, we can't beat these people no matter what. And I hate the Eagles like you hate the Gumps. Georgia Bulldogs for life says, what's up, UncleLou? What's up with you, buddy? I'm ready for another good day of college football here. What's the Bear doing? We got the Bear picking games up there now. You better pay attention to what the Bear says. That guy knows what he's doing when it comes to betting these games. Pay more attention to him than you do me. I'll tell you that right now. LV426, thank you for hitting the super chat, sir. He says, good morning from Cincy. Feeling great as usual for game day Saturday. Cincinnati versus SMU tonight. Go Bearcats. Cheers, Lou. That's going to be a great game. Winner of that game is in prime position for a New Year's Six Bowl. That is for sure. And it's going to be a good game, too. I've been riding on Cincinnati all year. I'm not getting off now. So I'm on Cincinnati tonight, too. I do think it'll be a good game. Be a tough game, but I'm on Cincinnati tonight, too. Go to Gator. What's up, buddy? Worldwide 1873 says Alabama beats Tennessee by 31 and Ohio State beats Nebraska by 42. Wow. I feel like they can make the spread too big for them. Roll Tide. Yeah, you may be on to something there with Ohio State. Tyler P. says, if I win, I'm taking Memphis plus 13.5. I don't even know who they're playing. I can't remember. If Bennett starts your next game, are you calling for Kirby to be fired? Stay tuned, sir. That's all I can tell you. Michael McClintock, thank you, sir. Ian Book only has 3 touchdown passes this season. What has happened to him? They almost lost that game to Louisville last week, too. Keep an eye on Notre Dame today. They could be the top 5 team that loses this week. Yeah, North Carolina and Georgia last week, Florida the week before. Notre Dame could be the top 5 team that goes down this week. Who do they play? Who do they play? Who does Notre Dame play? Who does Notre Dame even play? They ain't played. Who has Georgia played? Woo! All right, let's see. Check out these PayPal, see what they talking about. Michael, thank you, sir. He says, since you watched Wisconsin, did you see the big 53-yard touchdown? That was my old high school teammate, Danny Davis. For real? He says, I like Maryland and Minnesota on the money line. Maryland and Minnesota on the money line. Those are good picks. I want to put together a series of shows. We talked about this a month or so ago. I want to put together a series of shows. I think the off season is the best time to do this when we have plenty of time. There's no football being played. But we got to talking one night on one of the live shows about, you mentioned you played with Danny Davis. We brought this up in a live show one night, and I was surprised. There was a lot of people in the comment section who played high school ball against people we all now know, whether that's because they went on to play in college or NFL or both or whatever. I was surprised, and I want to put together a series of shows in the offseason where we get people on the live show at night and tell those stories. I've told the stories, my stories, several times. I played against Deion Grant in high school, who went on to Tennessee, and then the NFL. Played for a couple of different teams, and I played against Kendrell Bell, who ended up playing inside linebacker for UGA and then the Steelers. But there's some interesting stories out there about some of us who played with some of these people who went on to have some really good careers. We're going to have to get together and do a series of shows on that in the offseason. I think that would be that would be fun to do. Thank you for the PayPal. Jesse, thank you for the PayPal, sir. He says, legendary? Nope. I think he's talking about 8 camel toes. Claims he's a legend at 8 camel toes. Of course, his wife had to straighten him out live on stream for everybody to see. It was one of the funniest things I've seen on the internet in a long time. A long time. Bama Mike, thank you, sir. He says Nebraska to keep it closer than 46. Closer than 46. Well, the spread is 27, so I guess you're still taking, or you would still take Ohio State with the minus 27 then, huh? Over, under. If I put the over-under today on number of Justin Fields touchdowns, total, passing or running, whatever. If I put the over-under today at 4.5, what y'all taking? If I put the over-under total Justin Fields touchdowns at 4.5, what would y'all take on that? I think 4.5 is the right number. Will he score 4 or 5? Find out at noon. Bears, Cubs, Canes. Thank you, sir. He says, what's good, Lou? Bama, Ohio State, Canes, Penn State, and Virginia Tech all cover. Have a good morning. The Penn State is a weird line. They're only a 6-point favorite against Indiana. That seems too good to be true.
It's a trap.
It could be a trap. If it's a trap, it's most likely one that I'm going to fall for. I've only bet 2 games so far this week, and I'll pull Bet Now up in a minute and show you which 2 they are. I've bet 2 noon games so far. That's it for today. I cashed out last week. If you watched some of the other live shows earlier in the week, I talked about that, but I cashed out, and now I'm starting back over. I was starting to get ridiculous with some of the bets I was making. So I cashed out while the getting was good. Let's see if I can work it back up now. But I started with $100 at the beginning of the season. I had almost $2,000 in there, and that's a lot of money. So I cashed out for, I think it was $1,800. I cashed out $1,800, and that left me with like $122 or something. So basically starting over back where I started at the beginning of the season. So I've bet 2 games so far at noon. We'll see if I add to that, or I'll probably wait and see how I do on those noon games, and then bet some 3:30 games later today. We'll see. But Bears, Cubs, Canes likes Bama, Ohio State, Miami, Penn State, and Virginia Tech. Very interesting. I'll pull the schedule of games up too. We'll take a look at all the games coming up today. Tyler says, sorry, I meant Memphis minus 13.5. Okay. Gator Zone, thank you, sir. He says, Ohio State ain't played nobody. You know, that's actually true. That's actually true. Look at Lou. All he does is talk about how good Ohio State is. You know, I think he just loves Justin Fields. Here's the thing about Ohio State, Lou. They ain't played nobody. G. Young, thank you for the super chat. He says, well, Lou only lost for the Dogs today is picking the wrong QB in the bye week. Whoopity-doo! I'm fairly confident that Kirby will pick the wrong QB, unfortunately. I just don't have any faith in that. I have zero faith in Kirby Smart when it comes to quarterback decisions. It's at the point now I'm literally out of things to say about it. I will say this. There are even less fans now defending Kirby Smart and his quarterback choices than there were last year or the year before or like 2018 when Justin Fields was there. You had a lot of Kirby nut huggers who would have licked the sweat off his balls. You know, he could do no wrong, that kind of thing. Plus, they were in love with Jake Fromm and wanted to marry him, and there was that whole thing. The number of people now who blindly believe or trust that Kirby Smart will make the right decision at QB is well under 50% of the fan base. I can tell you that. I don't know every Georgia fan on the planet, but I'm pretty plugged in. I'm in a bunch of Georgia groups on Facebook. I read and see a lot of what people think and have to say about the situation, and I can tell you that under 50% of the Georgia fan base believes or trusts that Kirby Smart can or will make the right decision when it comes to quarterback. He is losing. I don't want to say he's losing support like people want him fired or any. I don't want to. It's not like that. It's just people have almost just come to accept the fact that he's not going to do the right thing at quarterback, and we better hope we can win anyway, kind of thing. Frustrating. Very frustrating. Let's look at today's games. What's worth watching today? There's that Wisconsin score from last night, 45-7. That was unbelievable. Don't look now if you're in the Big Ten, but Wisconsin has done found a damn quarterback. And like Georgia, that's about all they've been missing. Now, they're not as talented overall as Ohio State, but Wisconsin is a really, really good team almost every single year with a good defense, a good offensive line, a great run game, and Alex Hornibrook at quarterback. Not anymore. At least not. I know it's only 1 week, but, man, and if you say, well, it's Illinois. Well, they lost to Illinois last year, so 5 touchdowns the guy had. Graham Mertz is his name. Unbelievable. All right, coming up today. Syracuse at Clemson. Nebraska at Ohio State. NC State at North Carolina. Kansas at Kansas State. Those are your noon games involving ranked teams. Well, Georgia Southern at Coastal Carolina. Mercer at Army. Auburn at Ole Miss. Now, that's an interesting game there. That's an interesting game. I think Auburn is favored by a few points in that game. They got the soul beat out of them by South Carolina last week. Ole Miss, we know what they are. They have a good offense, but they're having a hard time winning games. They lost to Arkansas, lost to Alabama, lost to Florida. I don't know. I think people are low on Auburn because of the way they played last week. I have a feeling Auburn wins that game. Oklahoma at TCU. Hard to believe that's not a ranked game, isn't it? Oklahoma's a 7-point favorite on the road against the Horned Frogs. Spoiler alert. I like Oklahoma. Temple at Memphis. UTEP at Charlotte for all you UTEP sycophants out there, and there's a bunch of you. And Florida State at Louisville. I almost bet Florida State on the money line on this game. But for the record, too, by the way, never mind that hype and hate video yesterday. If you don't know the story on that, it was a contest I ran all week, and whoever won got to pick what game I did the hype and hate on and the team that I hated on. And a Florida fan won, Celine Driver, and he wanted me to trash Florida State. I think Florida State wins the game. So never mind the hype and hate video. That is what it is. I think Florida State wins at Louisville. I think they're going to play that, what's-your-name quarterback, Travis or whatever his name is. And let's be real, he wasn't great last week either, but he was better than Blackman. I mean, Travis was 8 of 19. That's not great. But North Carolina's got a pretty good defense usually. He was 8 of 19, I think 1 touchdown and 1 interception, but anything's better than Blackman. I think Florida State actually goes on the road and beats Louisville. Louisville's terrible. Hadn't they lost 4 in a row? I think they have. Got blew out by Georgia Tech. I think Florida State wins that game. I almost played Florida State on the money line. I probably should have. In fact, I might still do that. Actually. So that's your 12 o'clock games. What y'all think about those? What y'all think about those? Those are the games. So I'll be doing the stream on Patreon for all those 12 o'clock games. So we'll have some good ones to watch for sure. 904 Hurricane says FSU is 1-3. No, they're not, sir. 904 Hurricane. Okay, you're the same person that thinks Auburn and South Carolina are playing this week, and now you say Florida State is 1-3. I like you, but there's really no other conclusion to draw other than you haven't watched much, if any, football this year. Now he says Auburn versus LSU. But it's Auburn versus Ole Miss today. It's South Carolina versus LSU today. And now you're saying Florida State is 1-3. They're not 1-3. Auburn plays Ole Miss. I don't pay attention to anything 904 Hurricane is saying in the comment section because everything he has typed in so far has been wrong. Now you got one right. South Carolina is playing LSU. Now you got one right. But everything else you have said today has been wrong. Florida State's not 1-3. Auburn and South Carolina are not playing today. Auburn and LSU are not playing today. Very strange. Noah Sheldon, thank you for the super chat. He says Alabama 45, Tennessee 7. Okay, Volusia Orange. I see what you're doing there. Kentucky and Mizzou might be a good game. Can Mizzou score? Kentucky's defense is Kentucky's defense has nine interceptions in the last 2 games. There are plenty of teams that will not get 9 interceptions all year, especially this year in a shortened season. Kentucky's defense has 9 interceptions in the last 2 weeks. And I know they've played some bad teams. Lots of people play bad teams. Lots of people don't have 9 interceptions in 2 games on defense. That's amazing. Blake Taylor says, I have UNC bouncing back. NC State doesn't have a great defense, and Mac will have the boys ready. Yeah, we'll see. They do have an offense, NC State, but you're right. Their defense is terrible. NC State is the quietest, what are they, 4-1? The quietest 4-1 team around. No one talks about NC State, and I'm not saying they're great, but they're 4-1. Tyler P. makes an interesting point. Well, Garantano does suck, but again, every team will play Tennessee. Tennessee will play 10 teams this year. How many of them will have 4 interceptions? None, probably, would be my guess. And Kentucky had 5 interceptions the week before. So to pretend that it's just because they played Tennessee is just silly. Gator Zone, thank you for the super chat. Mizzou has a new QB, though. Kid ain't bad. Kentucky wins. Are the Ducks going to be good this year? Yes, they're best team in the Pac-12. If they don't win the Pac-12, that's a disappointment. They are ahead of everyone else in the Pac-12, and the gap is getting wider. When you look at recruiting the last 2 or 3 years, Mario Cristobal is working on something out there. Just a kid from Tennessee says, UncleLou, I love your channel. Give my Vols a chance today. Unfortunately, I can't give them a chance against Alabama. I mean, I'll give them the same chance that anyone ever has against any team. I mean, anything can happen. So that's the chance I'll give them. But outside of that, it's hard to imagine this game being close today. Tennessee just had 2 of the worst games they've. Road graded by Georgia. Embarrassed. I mean, totally embarrassed by Kentucky. Now they're firing position coaches in the middle of the season. It's not going well for Tennessee right now. What happened to the LSU team? It's in the NFL. Between the Trenches says JT is going to start next week. Well, we'll see. Pinecone, there is nobody, and I mean nobody, outside of the Miami fan base that believes that. Nebraska with the upset this week. No. No. Jay, the odds are that JT will suck in a Georgia helmet. Does that mean he sucks? No. This is part of the problem. It's. I'm not getting into the Georgia quarterback situation. They don't even play this week. I've explained it a million times. I'm not getting into it today. But there's no way that in a 4-year period, Kirby Smart has had 3 5-star quarterbacks, 4 highly rated 4-star quarterbacks, 2 of the top 3 quarterback recruits in America from the 2018 class. It's impossible that he's had all that in the last 4 years and they all suck. It's impossible. We know it's impossible because the 2 that have left have both been better when they left than when they were at UGA. So, does JT Daniels suck? I don't know. Odds are good he will suck in a Georgia helmet, though, because literally every quarterback that has been on the field in the last 4 years for Georgia has sucked. Every one. Every single one. So, as far as what if he sucks, then that's Kirby's fault too. Who recruits these people? Who's coaching these people? It's all Kirby's fault, period. There's no, I don't want to hear shit about no offensive coordinators. Well, 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 years. The quarterbacks suck for all 3. I'm tired of all that. Oh, the receivers can't catch. Bullshit. Multiple 5- and 4-star receivers all over the field. Georgia's got the most talented wide receiver group they've had probably in my lifetime. So I don't want to hear it. I don't care who goes out. I don't care who plays at quarterback anymore. They better look like an elite quarterback, period. You can't have all those quarterbacks to choose from and keep pushing out stepped-on doo-doo at the quarterback position year after year after year, week after week after week after week. I'm tired of seeing it. Wisconsin, out of nowhere, signs a quarterback no one's ever heard of, Graham Mertz, 4-star. He shows up at friggin' Wisconsin and goes 20 of 21 or whatever it was for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. Wisconsin, the Georgia of the Big Ten. Great defense, great offensive line, amazing running backs, can't throw their way out of a wet paper bag, but now they can. I don't want to hear there is no excuse that works with me anymore about the Georgia quarterback situation. I don't want to hear shit about the coronavirus. I don't want to hear nothing about not enough offseason. Ole Miss brought in a brand new coaching staff from the top down. Their offense runs like a well-oiled machine. Now, they're not a good team overall. Their defense is terrible. But this idea that Georgia can't have a good offense this year because of coronavirus is stupid. Or because we have a new offensive coordinator, that's dumb. That's just ridiculous. Just stop it. Just stop. Mac Jones is a 3-star. Mac Jones is a 3-star. 3. 1, 2, 3. Mac Jones is a 3-star. He is 100 million, billion, gazillion times better than any QB Kirby Smart has ever trotted out onto the field. Ever. Until they leave Georgia. Then they're great. You know, Jacob Eason had to get the hell out of Dodge so he could get drafted ahead of Fromm. Well, I mean, everybody knows Eason was better than Fromm. Fields was better than Fromm. They kept trotting Fromm out there for no good goddamn reason. You look at 2018, we go on the road to LSU. We're undefeated. We get absolutely humiliated. Fromm plays probably the worst game of his career. They're shuffling Justin Fields in and out on random second downs for no reason. We get blown out. Then we have an off week before we play Florida, and everybody's like, all right, he'll make a change now. He'll take the off week. He'll take these 2 weeks to get Justin Fields ready for Florida. Florida game comes around. Jake Fromm trots his happy ass out on the field, and Justin Fields played a grand total of 0 plays in that game. I knew he was gone right then. Now here we are 2 years later in the exact same spot. The exact same spot. So I want to know, has Kirby Smart learned anything from 2018 to now? Has he learned anything at all? Because if you continue to play Stetson Bennett the rest of this season, every quarterback on our roster should get the fuck out. Every one of them should transfer. Brock Vandagriff should send a picture to the UGA athletic department, a picture of himself doing this that said, I'm decommitting. If Stetson Bennett trots out there next week and every other game this week, that's what should happen. Every quarterback on our team should quit immediately. Immediately. We blew out Auburn. We blew out Tennessee. Not a single quarterback other than Stetson Bennett threw a pass in that game. Against Tennessee, or was Auburn, I guess. Well, I can't remember now. One of those 2 games, they did put DeJuan Mathis in the fourth quarter, and all he did was hand the fucking ball off 10 times. That's it. Who is that helping? Who is that helping? JT Daniels hasn't seen the field. He was cleared the Monday after the Arkansas game. If you're cleared, you can play. Oh, well, we're waiting on him to become more mobile. Hey! Before he blew his knee out, before he blew his knee out, he rushed for negative 150 yards in a whole damn season at Southern Cal. If you're waiting on him to get more mobile, you'll be waiting till the goddamn cows come home. Jerome Pruitt, thank you for hitting the PayPal in that. Hey, it's Jerome. Did you know that Camel and his wife don't sleep in the same bed together? Yeah, everybody knows that. The guy live streams from 9 p.m. to 10:30 a.m. the following day, 8 days a week. Then he sleeps all day while his wife goes to work. And then she comes home and humiliates him live on camera for everybody to see, which is still the funniest thing I've ever seen outside of Georgia's quarterback situation. Thank you for the PayPal. Neo, Mr. Anderson. Good. Thank you, sir. He says, good morning, Uncle Lou. Bama wins today 42-10. Let's see. That would be a 32-point win. That would make a lot of people happy if they bet on Bama. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt at all. Brian B., thank you for hitting the PayPal. He says, is Tennessee and Auburn twins? Because they both have the same two daddies, Alabama and Georgia. You might be on to you might be onto something. You might be onto something. I guess Alabama and Georgia have shared custody over Tennessee and Auburn. Georgia's off this week, so Alabama is your weekend to watch the kids. So I need you to take care of Tennessee and then check in on the Barner, too. Georgia's off this weekend, so, yeah, that's how that works. Split custody there. That's funny. Irish Medic, thank you for hitting the PayPal. He says, hey, Lou, Irish Medic, don't even want to think of Clemson next week. I took Florida State with plus 5.5, Mercer plus 30.5 over Army. I don't know enough about Mercer to tell you one way or the other on that one. I do like Army. It's hard for Army to beat anybody by 30 points because of the kind of offense they run, the triple options. So maybe you're on to something there. I do like the Florida State bet at plus 5.5. I might even take Florida State on the money line. I think they could beat Louisville today. Gator Zone, thank you for the super chat. He says, Kirby is a QB whisperer. Whispers, get out. Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to get Brock Vandagriff next year. And then when he's riding the bench, I can hear all these Disney dogs saying, well, the thing is about Brock Vandagriff is he's just too tall. He's too tall. His arm is too strong. Yeah, Brock Vandagriff might be good, but, he's got too much potential. He's just got too much potential. Going to have to go with Stetson Bennett again next year. Stetson Bennett 2021. Hashtag Stetson 2021. What a fucking joke. What a joke. Let's look at the rest of these games, and then we'll see about picking a winner for the gambling contest today. Everybody that has given a super chat or a PayPal, we're going to draw. We're not going to draw a name. We're going to do trivia. We're going to do trivia at the end of the show. And the first person to get the answer correct will win. I'll place a bet for you on Bet Now. And if you win the bet, I'll send you what you win. But you have to have given a super chat or a PayPal to be entered in that. So we did the 12 o'clock games. So here you go with your afternoon games now. Florida Atlantic at Marshall. I like Marshall there, obviously. Alabama at Tennessee. I like Tennessee. Notre Dame at Pitt. I think Notre Dame will win. I know a lot of people are down on them because of the whole 12-7 over Louisville thing, and Ian Book appears not to know what he's doing. But Pitt's got issues of its own. I like Notre Dame to get a win on the road. Iowa State at Oklahoma State. I like Oklahoma State there, but that could be one of the best games of the week. Oklahoma State's the last remaining undefeated team in the Big 12. I think they're lucky to get this game at home, obviously, because you can't win at Iowa State. It's been proven. If you don't believe me, you can check out what's his name over on the What You Call channel. He says it all the time. Yep, it's like a religion to those people. Penn State at Indiana. Penn State's only a 6-point favorite in that one.
It's a trap.
I'm going to fall for it. Give me Penn State. Virginia Tech at Wake Forest. Baylor at Texas could be a good game. High-scoring game there. I wonder what the over. I'm going to check what the. I bet you the over under on that game has got to be in the 70s or 80s. It's got to be. Texas is averaging 50 points a game. The over under's got probably 75 in that game. Iowa at Purdue. God, I'm Rondale Moore's not playing. For those of you who weren't here at the beginning of the show, this is terrible news for me. He's one of my favorite players to watch in all of college football, Rondale Moore. Iowa at Purdue. I thought Purdue had a chance to upset Iowa. I still think they do. But it's going to be a lot harder without Rondale Moore. 3:30 on the Big Ten Network for that one. Georgia Tech at Boston College. I don't know why anybody would care about that other than laughing purposes only. Kentucky at Missouri at 4. Can Kentucky keep it going? West Virginia at Virginia Tech. Oh, West Virginia at Texas Tech, sorry. I like West Virginia there. South Carolina at LSU. Man, can South Carolina pull off the upset here? Man. Maybe. LSU's quarterback is out. Brennan, he's not playing. You know what? I think South Carolina can beat them. I do. I think South Carolina can beat them. Michigan at Minnesota. Tough game to figure out here. I don't know what to expect from Michigan's new quarterback. Recent history tells us anything, then we can't expect much. Can Minnesota do what they did last year? I don't know. They got a bunch of starters back, but that was the best season they've had in 80 years was last year. So I think that'll be a good game. I'm going to go with the home team and just take Minnesota, but that one could go either way. Maryland at Northwestern. Will Pineapple Jr. play? Tua's brother, he transferred from Alabama to Maryland, has been cleared, given a waiver or whatever to play, but Maryland hasn't announced who their starting quarterback will be, so we'll find out tonight at 7:30 on the Big Ten Network when Maryland travels to play Northwestern. Virginia at Miami. I like Miami there. Virginia's been a disappointment this season. Miami surprised me last week. Not that they won, but they appeared not to be bothered by the Clemson loss. And that's, recent history. Miami has lost multiple games in a row several times. They let losses linger. Not the case now. At least it didn't appear that way last week. They won easily. I look for them to do the same thing again this week. Cincinnati at SMU. This is kind of like a playoff game in that the loser is most likely eliminated from a New Year's Six Bowl. The winner is almost guaranteed to make it to a New Year's Six Bowl. Texas State at BYU. I'll take Texas State by 202. And the only cancellation we have is New Mexico at Colorado State. So there you go. That's the schedule of games for today. We're going to pull up Bet Now here in just a second. Look at what some of these lines are. Then I'm going to pick a winner out of the Super Chat or the PayPal. Let you make a bet. I'll place the bet for you live on the air here. And if you win, I will send you your winnings to PayPal. Miller Time, thank you for the Super Chat. What do UT grads call Vanderbilt grads? Boss. That's confirmed. I have it on good authority that that's actually true. So, give credit there. I will give you credit there. What is this? I don't think anybody knows. Oh, yeah. All right, I got a trivia question. This is an easy one. The last couple of weeks, the trivia question I feel like has been too hard because it's taken like 100 guesses in 5 minutes for anybody to get it right. So, again, in order to win, you have to have given a Super Chat or a PayPal. So I'm going to ask that if you didn't, please don't type the answer in. Give the people that actually entered the contest a chance to answer the question. I know a lot of you will know the answer, but please just give a few minutes for the ones that actually entered the contest to answer the question. You're in. You're in, Waikiki. Thank you for the Super Chat. But that's going to be it. We're going to stop now. Waikiki, you're the last one. Here's the trivia question. This is an easy one, so get your typing fingers ready. Trolls have a clear advantage in this contest because they obviously can type in a hurry. because that's what they do 24 hours a day. But the trivia contest today, Clemson has been dominating the ACC in recent memory. Who was the last ACC team to beat Clemson? Tyler P., you got it. The first guess was the right answer, Syracuse. All right, Tyler P., and I know I saw you in here. Yeah. All right, Tyler P., I'm going to pull up Bet Now. I'm going to talk about some of the games. Make sure you follow along. After I get done talking about some of these games on Bet Now, I'm going to come back here and get your pick, okay? All right, so here we go. View lines, yeah. Georgia Tech at Boston College. Boston College is a 3.5-point home favorite in that one. This game could probably go either way. If Georgia Tech turns the ball over a million times like they've been doing, they're going to lose. If they don't turn the ball over, I think they have a chance to win. I'll probably stay away from that game for that reason. Hard to predict turnovers. But that's what I think about that one. Florida State at Louisville. If I play this game, it will either be on Florida State at plus 5.5. I might even play this game on the money line and you can double your money, plus 190. So again, if you don't know what that means, if you bet $100 on Florida State on the money line, that means they have to win the game. You make plus 190. Well, you make, if you bet 100, you win 190. You get your 100 back plus another 190. If you bet over here on the spread, you're basically winning dollar for dollar, a little bit less. That's how the casino makes their money. So you see negative 110 means you're actually only winning 90% of what you bet. So if you bet Florida State plus 5.5 and you bet $100 and you win the bet, you get your 100 back plus 90. You bet Florida State over here, you get your 100 back plus 190. But they have to actually win the game for you to win this bet over here. Over here, Florida State could lose the game as long as they lose by less than 5.5. That's what these numbers mean. I've explained this a bunch of times. This is betnow.eu. This is the only site I ever use. I've been working with, they've been sponsoring the channel for the last 3 or 4 years. They're legit. It's easy to get money in and out. If you're looking to make some money and have some fun betting on some of these games during the season, check out Bet Now. Like I said, it's easy to use. Just be responsible on there. Don't be gambling away your mortgage payment or your lunch money or anything like that. Just look at it as entertainment. Have fun with it. If you win some money, great. If you lose a little money, well, hopefully you had some fun doing it or whatever. If you're new and you create an account over there, you can use the promo code UncleLou, one word, all lowercase letters, UncleLou, and they'll give you a bonus on whatever you deposit. So there you go. That's how that works. Notre Dame at Pittsburgh. Notre Dame by 9.5. I do think Notre Dame will win the game. I'm not sure if I will bet this game, though. Ian Book has struggled this year, only throwing 3 touchdown passes through the first 4 games. They barely beat Louisville last week, 12-7 at home. Now they got to go on the road, take on a Pitt team that's got a pretty good defense, but their offense is non-existent. I do think Notre Dame wins, but I don't know if I can take it at 9.5. Alabama at Tennessee. I think Alabama wins big. I should have bet this. If this was under 21, I would take Alabama without thinking. 20.5. 22 is over 3 touchdowns. You know, what if it ends up being 42-21? That, you lose. If you take Alabama minus 22 and the score is 42-21, you lose. That's so I don't. If I bet it, I would still take Alabama. I think Tennessee is falling apart. 2 really bad losses in a row. The quarterback situation is an utter disaster. It's worse than Georgia's. They fired their defensive line coach in the middle of the week. Pruitt's blaming everybody but himself for the losses. He's blaming coronavirus. He's blaming the players. He's blaming Jim Chaney. He's blaming the defensive line coach. He won't take any personal responsibility. Not a good look. I don't think people respond well to that. I think Tennessee is teetering on the edge of disappearance again. We'll see. NC State at North Carolina. I actually like NC State in this game to keep it closer than 15, although I do think North Carolina will win. Virginia Tech at Wake Forest. No, I wouldn't bet a dime on that game. Syracuse at Clemson, same thing. Can Clemson beat Syracuse by 46.5? Of course. Will they? Who knows? Second half, everybody gets taken out of the game. I don't know what'll happen here. If I was going to bet this game, I'd probably take Syracuse in the 46.5. Virginia at Miami. I like Miami minus 13.5. That's just under 2 touchdowns. I think Miami could win this game 28-10, 31-13, something like that. Penn State at Indiana. I like Penn State minus 6. I'm going to ride with Penn State this year until I'm proven wrong, which could be this week. I don't know. They got some key players missing because of the corona in that. I still think they're a really good team, much better than Indiana. So I probably will bet this game today. I'll bet Penn State minus 6. That's just under a touchdown. But if it weren't for the opt-outs Penn State has had, this thing would be over 10 points. Rutgers at Michigan State. I don't think I'll put a dime on this game. I think Michigan State will win. Shout out to Mel Tucker. Rutgers got Greg Schiano back, but he's probably going to need a couple of years if he's going to be able to do anything. Nebraska at Ohio State. I like Ohio State minus 27, although I don't know that I'm going to bet it. Ohio State was 12-2 last year against the spread. They covered almost every week. Will Nebraska be any better? Year 3, Scott Frost and Adrian Martinez. I don't know. Iowa at Purdue. I like Purdue here, but now Rondale Moore's out. I still like, if Rondale Moore was playing, I would take Purdue on the money line. If I play this game now, it's going to be, I'll take the 3.5 points in case Purdue loses a close one. Baylor in Texas. Over-under is only 61. I would take the over. I don't know who wins or loses this game, but I'll take the over 61. This game could be 45-42. You could see 90 points scored in this game. Cincinnati at SMU. Anybody could win this game. I'm going to take SMU. I've been riding them all year. I'm not getting off now. We'll see. But give me Cincinnati. Luke Fickell to Athens, too. And also, if things don't go the way I think they should go. But that's a video for a week from now. Iowa State at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, the last undefeated team in the Big 12. Iowa State, pretty good team. Pretty good team. That could be a good game. I like Oklahoma State there, minus 2.5. Oklahoma at TCU. I like Oklahoma minus 7. I don't think Oklahoma is as bad as people think they are. Are they what they have been the last 2 or 3 years? No, but I don't think they're terrible. They've had a week off. I think they handle TCU. Auburn at Ole Miss, man, this game could go either way. Auburn looks like a total dumpster fire. Ole Miss can't win a game. I want you to think about this. Auburn and Ole Miss, the over-under is higher than Texas and Baylor. Man, have things changed in the course of a year. Unbelievable. You used to never see over-unders this high in an SEC game. 72.5. I like the under. West Virginia and Texas Tech. I like West Virginia to get the win on the road there. Kansas at Kansas State. Kansas State. I actually bet this game already, I think. I like Kansas State. South Carolina at LSU. Interesting game. Can South Carolina pull it off again? Can they pull it off again? We'll see. Maryland at Northwestern. I actually like Maryland here. Why is Maryland getting 11.5 points against Northwestern? I like Maryland. Texas at BYU. Texas State by probably 161 in that one. Florida Atlantic at Marshall. I like Marshall to win just under 17. I probably take, I don't know. I'll take Marshall, I guess. What else? Kentucky at Missouri. I'll take Kentucky minus 3.5. So, there you have it. So, Tyler P., what's it going to be, buddy? $25. You tell me what you want to put it on. Jordan Kapler says, problem, Georgia QBs are terrible when wearing Georgia helmets. Solution, don't wear helmets. Seems like an easy solution. Go Knowles 45. Thank you for the super chat. He says, "Hey Lou, can you explain the plus and minus system again? Just got bet now and don't completely understand it." Yeah, let me do that again. I'll do it real quick. Obviously, in a football game, somebody is the favorite and somebody is the underdog, right? Let me find one that's easy. Okay, Alabama and Tennessee. Everybody knows Alabama's the favorite in this game, right? Well, how big of a favorite are they? Well, they're a 22-point favorite. So what this means is if you bet the spread, and the spread in this game is 22, and this is the most popular way to bet. This is how probably 90% of the bets that are made on the spread, or against the spread, it's called. If you bet Alabama minus 22, in order to win the bet, Alabama has to win the game by more than 22. So, if Alabama wins the game 23-0, you win the bet because they won the game by more than 22 points. If Alabama wins the game 28-10, you lose because Alabama won the game but only by 18 points. And the opposite is true if you want to bet on the underdog, in this case, Tennessee. You can bet Tennessee at plus 22. What that means is Tennessee can lose the game as long as they lose by less than 22, and you still win your bet. So if Alabama beats Tennessee 21-0, that's a 21-point win for Alabama. If you bet on Tennessee plus 22, you would have won the bet. If Tennessee wins the game, you win the bet. As long as they don't lose by more than 22 points, you win the bet if you take Tennessee against the spread at plus 22. These next numbers here, that determines the payout. That determines how much you win. And these numbers are based off of $100 bets. You don't have to bet $100. They're just based off $100 bets because it makes the math easier. If you bet $100 and you win $90. You get your 100 back plus another 90. So you would turn 100 into 190 total if you win the bet here at minus 110. And you don't really have to know or understand what these numbers will mean, because if you go to, let's say I want to take Alabama minus 22, add picks to ticket right here. You can play around right here before you save your bet, and you haven't actually made the bet. So let's say you want to put $50 on Alabama at minus 22. See, I put $50. I'm risking $50. I would win 45. So you don't have to really know what this minus 110 means. You can just come here and play around with the numbers, and it'll tell you how much you'll win. So you would get, if you win the bet, you would get your 50 back, and then Bet Now would pay you another $45. That's how that works. So I hope that made some sense. All right, Tyler, where's the bet going, buddy? For those of you who don't know what we're doing, at the end of every Saturday morning show, I pick a winner. Memphis minus 13.5. All right. At the end of every Saturday morning show, I pick a winner, and I place a bet for them. If they win the bet, I send them what they win. Y'all are 0 for 8. 0 for 8. 8 bets I have placed for people on these Saturday morning shows this year, and you guys have not won a single one. That's $200 because I do $25 bets. So $200 gone. Tyler? P? Sir? You say Memphis. Memphis it is, sir. Memphis minus 13.5. Add picks to ticket. $25. You will win $22 if you are correct. If you get it right, I will send you $22. Good luck. Ticket saved. Good luck, sir. Good luck, sir. Tyler says he's very confident in that pick. Well, I hope for your sake and mine that you win. Because if you win, I get my $25 back, which would be great. Dustin, oh yeah, Gators been off a couple of weeks. Yeah, on the corona. Yeah. That's got to be weird. 2 off weeks in a row like that. Not used to that. FSU makes a New Year's Six bowl next season. Oh boy. Usually we got to wait till the off season before we start hearing ridiculous shit like that. You got to go all in on a crazy bet. I did that last week and hit. I put over $900 on Tulane against SMU and hit. That's how I got up to $2,000. I started with 100, I worked it up to 900 and something, and then I put the whole thing on Tulane plus 3.5 or plus 7, I think it was, against SMU. And the game went to overtime, and SMU won by 3. I had plus 3.5 or plus 7, whatever it was, so I won the bet, doubled my money, and cashed out. Now I'm starting over so I don't make any more stupid bets like that because I was lucky I didn't go broke. So I cashed out like $800. I think I cashed out $800, and that left me with $122 in the account. In your entire life of betting, do you think you've made money or lost money? It's probably pretty close. If I've made or lost, it hasn't been a whole lot either, one way or the other. This is my house. That was so funny. That was so funny. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I've got the live stream coming up at noon. I'm going to be doing a live stream during the noon games today. So for those of you who are members over on the Patreon page, you know the routine by now, but I'll post a link around 11:45. Just go to the Patreon page, click the link. It'll take you to the live stream today, and we'll watch the early games together. And honestly, most of the good games today come on at noon. So noon's probably the best time slot today. If you're looking for a way to support the channel and you want to hang out with us at noon and watch these games, click the link in the description of this video that says Patreon. It'll take you to the Patreon page. You can look around, and if you decide you want to get signed up, I would appreciate it. And you can hang out with us and watch these noon games. There's going to be some good ones. I'll be posting reaction videos all day long over on the main channel, the UncleLou channel. So make sure you check that out. Anything, any upsets, anything funny, whatever, the deal. I'll post some videos over on the main channel throughout the day. And then tomorrow morning, of course, we'll have Week 8 version of Your Season is Over. And one thing's for sure, Georgia will not be on it this week. Thank God. Had to put them on there last week. No chance they wind up on there this week, though, because they're not playing. But anyway, good luck to all your teams today. I hope you all win. Good luck to those of you who are betting on some of these games today. I hope you make some money. And I hope I make some money, too. I'm watching all the games, Dylan. Can you explain? Oh, I did that. If you only made one bet today, what would it be? Only made one bet today, what would it be? Let's see. If I could only make one bet today, what would it be? Penn State -6 over Indiana. I'm going to ride that train until I'm proven wrong. All offseason, I've been talking about how good Penn State could be this year. 6 points is not a lot. Give me Penn State -6 if I can only make one bet today. That game comes on 3:30 on FS1. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Have fun today. Hope we get some good games. I love you guys and have a good morning.